Chicago Bears GM Ryan Poles has finally spoken about the quarterback situation. Hello everyone, I'm Andy here with Chicago Bears React, bringing you all the Chicago Bears news you're seeking during the season and now here in the off season. Before we get started, if you wouldn't mind taking a moment to like, subscribe, and maybe even turn on notifications. Make sure you don't miss a thing because we're covering everything coming out of the Combine this week and you're not going to want to miss a thing. Now, the NFL Combine officially kicked off today, and while players won't be testing for a couple of days here, today we did get a lot of media coming out of interviews with GMs and coaches from around the league. And there's been some fun nuggets of information coming out. Everything from Minnesota's GM speaking about how Justin Jefferson is not going anywhere, to new Falcons head coach Raheem Morris essentially just dunking on the quarterback play in Atlanta last year. A lot of interesting stuff. You should definitely be checking out what's coming out of the NFL Combine. But as it relates to the Bears, today we got to hear from both Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus. And while neither one of them was particularly candid about what they're hoping to find at the Combine or even more specifically what they're planning to do at quarterback, as you're going to see in this video, I think Ryan Poles in particular said everything he has to. And I'm pretty sure if we compare what was said at this year's Combine to what he talked about last year, we're going to see there's a stark difference, and you can kind of see where things are headed. So we're going to take a look at just a couple things, couple little nuggets that came out, because most of it was just kind of GM speak, but a couple notable quotes. So first one here, as reported by Ian Rappaport, talking about whether or not they would trade Justin, and he said, if we go down that road, I want to do right by Justin. And then he continued, we'll move as quickly as possible. Okay. So obviously he kind of couched that with, if that's the route we go. But I do think it's very notable that instead of kind of dodging the question, because he very easily could have just said, right now we're not sure that that's the route we're going. We are very early in our evaluation of everything. And while I know this media thing is difficult for Justin, ultimately right now we're just focused on the Combine and we're not yet at that point of thinking about re-signings and things like that. Very easily could have answered that way. Not a difficult way to answer that question. But he gave a real sincere and honest answer. And I do think that is something of note. Next one, this is coming from Adam Johns. And Adam Johns, reporter for The Athletic, was asking about the player side of things. And so one thing that has been well documented is that Justin has the locker room. The locker room loves Justin. So they asked him, what kind of role that plays in his decision making. And he said, quote, it's my job to think of the long term. And a lot of our guys kind of don't see that. It's not their job to do that, and they defend their guy, which I think speaks volumes about our culture in that locker room. All right, so translation, it's great they think about that, but I have a different responsibility. That's essentially what he's saying. So again, he's already kind of not walking things back, but he's definitely being careful with his words here. So we're going to go to the next message here. And so this is just quick coming from Adam Hogue. And if I can pull this up here. So he was asked about, does he have any concerns that Caleb Williams does not want to play in Chicago? Quote, no concerns about that at all. That one might seem like something just to throw away, but I would throw this out there. If I was not thinking about taking Caleb, and I had a number of routes I was considering, the moment I got that question, the best smokescreen you can give would be to say, I think Chicago is a world-class city. It has some of the best art and culture and food and people and all of that. Any quarterback will be excited to play for the city of Chicago and for this ascending football team. That's what I would say. And he just said, no, I'm not concerned about that at all. Again, notable. He's actually answering these questions, even if it doesn't seem like he is. So now he said some other things, and so we're gonna take note of one of them. So he also said, while he hasn't had any big time conversations with teams about trading out of number one, a lot of clubs have checked in to take the temperature. And he says it would have to help our organization significantly to trade out. So that means a couple things. One, he's open to it. He's open to hearing kind of a major offer. But he's also kind of downplaying it, saying, but we're not sure that anybody's going to be able to offer enough to do that. Now, that could be a smokescreen. So just to be clear, that's the exact answer you want Ryan Poles giving to make sure that whoever does make an offer comes in with some insane trade package. So not a lot to glean from there one way or another. But I want to take a look at how this compares to last year. Because, so what we've seen here is he's saying, they're trying to make a decision quickly and then do right by Justin. He's saying they're not really certain that they want to trade out of this pick, and they're not having any serious discussions about that yet. He's saying it's great that the locker room loves Justin, but I've got a different job and a different priority. And he's saying, yeah, like we're thinking about Caleb. Like that's more or less what he's saying. Compare that to last year. And this is a direct quote from Ryan Poles here. I'm pulling this from NFL.com. They're asked about, is the plan for Justin to be the starter in 2023? And he says, that's the plan right now. Like I said, we're going to do our homework on this class, and if something changes, and again, I will just use the same statement, we will have to be blown away to say, I think this is best for our organization. So last year he was saying, we'll have to be blown away to want to take somebody. And what happened? They weren't blown away. They didn't take somebody. They traded back. This year, he's saying we have to be blown away to trade back now. This is different. And we'll point out, here is just, this article is literally from 1 year ago today. This is from February 27, 2023. Adam Schefter reported, the Bears are leaning toward moving the number one pick in the NFL draft. I haven't seen any such reports. And it was notable to me that came out because it was at the Combine last year that Ryan Poles essentially put put a for sale sign on his head regarding the number one pick. Adam Schefter reported that the Bears were leaning toward trading the pick, and we read the quote from Ryan Poles. He was operating as if Justin would be the quarterback unless something really shocked them in the evaluation process. So I say this to say, folks, this is different. Now, again, this doesn't mean it's Caleb because they still have to interview him, right? They still have to really get to know the character of the player. They also are going to interview Drake May. I'm certain they're going to interview Jaden Daniels and J.J. McCarthy, and they're going to, there's some opportunity here. For all we know, they're going to interview Caleb, and they're going to say, yikes, that person isn't going to succeed in the NFL. For all we know, they're going to talk to Drake May and say, we don't think he's got it between the ears to lead an NFL offense. They could talk to Jaden Daniels and just be blown away by him. I can tell you right now, J.J. McCarthy is going to rocket up draft boards after this week because he's going to throw better than people realize. And his interviews are going to be off the charts. I will guarantee. I've mentioned on this channel before, I'm a Michigan fan. I know JJ's college time very well. I've spent a lot of time listening to interviews with him, that dude is going to rise up draft boards. I'm not saying the Bears are going to take him. I'm just saying right now it looks like Caleb is 1, Drake is 2, Jaden is 3, JJ is 4. By the end of this week, that order could be vastly different. We just don't know. We don't know what will happen. But this is where it seems to be leading. And it certainly seems, based on today's interview, that Ryan Poles is heavily leaning toward drafting a quarterback instead of running it back with Justin. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that this is a real thing? It certainly seems real to me, but let me know if you think I'm wrong. And as always, I check the comments. I love to engage. Let me know if there's anything you want to see covered in one of the upcoming videos. Would love any feedback there. So thanks so much for watching. And as always, Bears fans, bear down.